Good evening and welcome to From the Left. My name is Stephen Leon and I'm running for the House of Representatives here in Virginia's 8th District. And thank you to the GCD Network for hosting this live stream. I caught the last few minutes of Joseph Langone over there. And, the, uh, the IRA was essentially, I might want to send him a link to the debate. I hear him talking, I'm like, you're only speaking in half truths. You know what I mean? And let me tell you, I will totally be objective to my side. With the IRA, essentially when it comes to taxes and bureaucracy is a part of life. It's going to be everywhere. And the real problem is the plutocracy, the way that corporations are buying out our government. So the element of the taxes that in the IRS is there are corporations and the rich are evading taxes. And there are certain things in our budget that we need to balance. Of course, we can't go too far left. This is a topic that's on my list here that we'll get to. I really want to get into some content this week and just kind of go over what I've gone through in my campaign, my writing campaign. And but really, going back to what I was just saying, it's the American Anti-Corruption Act that's going to mitigate that plutocracy. So a guy like me, who isn't accusing any kind of corporate money or any money to challenges that circulation, even Kamala Harris has been subject to a lot of money that even the Teamsters. Again, that's it. Let me hold on that. Let me get back to that because that's a juicy article for, and even they call out. Well, they didn't call out. Which is just good. I just thought I want to mention that from Joseph a few minutes ago, and he's defending the same corporate greed that is the problem, and Trump is just no different than Kamala like that. Just so. All right. I was able to attend the early voting here in Virginia. The Democrats, I'm running as an independent leaning left. I've always voted Democrat, but to call it a Democrat Party block party, it wasn't a block. It was just that little photo right there at the courthouse. And there were other parties, board party. I got a chance to pass out my flyer to people and talk to some of the candidates, not House candidates. I didn't see Don Biden. I got there shortly after 8 o'clock. It started at 7:30. I didn't see him. I was able to shake hands with one of our senators, Tim Kaine. That was nice. He didn't have any stock shares. Our other senator, yeah, Warner totally did. You can check that out. I'm concerned about that. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the red flags right now. When you look at any representative, local, federal, president, or whatever, where is their money coming? Yeah, that's what you have to look at. And if you regulate too much, then the world goes back on fire, basically. And if you regulate too much, then it suppresses products. So you've got to find that balance. That's the principle that we need to have. Not so much about taking sides, it's about finding who's promoting those ideas. Who wants to work with the experts and get that in that principle, and that's what we want, right? So yeah. I was also able to give my flyer to a couple of reporters, one from ABC, one from Fox, and that's pretty much that was last Thursday. That was really cool to go out there. So, like I said, let's get into some content. I want to share my screen with some of the articles. So I've been going after John Byer all year when it comes to artificial intelligence. He decided to go back to school, college, to work on a master's with a focus on artificial intelligence. He's focused on election security, privacy. Those things are important, but when it comes to jobs, and I've sprayed this all over the internet, that's all I have. If you want to call me a troll for having the limited resources that I have and being objective, then I'd say you're just self-alienating yourself. Sure, lots of people troll. But even then, like when it comes to politics, if you can't be objective and go in there, I'm not just like saying dropping F-bombs, but like really getting in there and bringing credible sources or even an opinion that's based on principle or something like that. That's the thing about it. If you're media literate, you can find sources of articles and things like that to back up where you want to go in that principle. We're not at all. Then you can use your brain and put something in there. But if you're going to be to transpose that term troll for politics, I don't think it's good. I don't think it is at all. So I've been called troll lots of times. And I even make a little acronym out of it. This rolls off lickety split or something, lickety lip. Anyway, so I'm gonna share my screen here with you. And this is my little note. So when it comes to AI and job loss, we know that there could be up to a 20% loss in jobs due to AI, and John Byers not doing anything about it. There's another video that I wanted to show you. In fact, I want to show you this first and show you how important it is that I get donations. I was able last week to share one of my videos, and the other, that one I just made last week. And this one is probably my most popular. I'm going to share this, and this is why it's so important that I get donations. So, I mean, this is another cool thing. I wanted to show you the background. We're going to go into my little ads. If we have time, we're going to go into my little ads section here on Facebook. You can see, like, I boosted that post last week with $20 of my own money every day. And my followers went up. They were at 199, not at 144. My likes are 71 to put it at 40. So it's like people will try to, come in here and be like, nobody's following or anything like that. Well, if you get into a party and you're not responding to anybody in your comments and no one's doing it, but just you don't get put into that machine of it. I'm doing it fresh. A lot of these followers are digital creators and things like that, and I don't know, that's fine. Maybe there are people out there that are on Facebook and they're digital creators and they just started, and that's where the algorithm's taking. So anyway, they decided to shoot that video with $10. It's not much. It's not going to be enough. You're going to see it. So this is why I'm asking for donations. And you'll understand why, especially when it comes to AI and jobs. You know what I mean? I talked to a petitioner, I'm sorry, I couldn't get this woman to sign my petition because she wasn't in our congressional district. She was in 7, and she wondered why. She was being very, she was going to vote for, what's his name? I can't, his name is evading me right now. But she was wondering why do people even look at Don Byer as a Democrat? Like, she knows enough. And I was like, thank you for saying that. Some of the how he's plutocratic. I think that the way they feed this on you, yeah, so there's a lot of dark money on the right, just opposing things that are constitutional, the on the left, and it's just the Republican Party is very much divided in half the way that the Democrats were during the Civil War. So it's kind of interesting to see how that is, but there's a lot of pain that's involved with that. So I don't know how interesting that is. So this is the video that I've decided today because there are these articles that I found. This thing, the AI is already coming after dropping, just like COVID. It's going after the hospitality. It's also going to tie into Newsom's experiments in California. So we're going to see that. I can go pull this up. I have lots of other videos. I'm going to get this creative all year. This is it. So I've taken the creative liberty of borrowing other material for good cause. So I'll go ahead and pull up again. Expect this all. Only 2 minutes. Thank you for your patience.
We are witnessing a total political system failure in America.
I'm baffled about how the richest nation in the history of mankind, with low unemployment, strong economy, cannot afford to do what every other developed nation in the world. What's wrong with the United States that we can provide? We very much appreciate that most people don't have the time to go back to school. Now, I can't tell you how much time this gentleman's up. I'm just going to have my final exam tomorrow on my Python 3 coding class, and it's astonishing. It's actually really fun, but mostly probably the most interesting thing I've done this year is learning how to code at age 73. However, very few people are going to have that privilege.
Mr. Meyer, what are you most worried about when it comes to AI? What keeps you up?
Well, the short term, the most obvious thing is what it does to create a destruction of jobs. There's been a lot of displacement. Sometimes you hear numbers in the 20% of all jobs in the world. Although that's also been true in the agricultural revolution, the technology revolution. We will adapt, but it will be a painful adaptation. The more concerning things, I think, are about election security, about privacy. I don't know much we're here to some journalists.
all credible data. You can go to my website and look up the, I don't know, I'll go to the, Artificial Intelligence and Information Technology Act. Or did I even get that backward? Information Technology and Artificial Intelligence Act, where we would conglomerate and get IT certifications for companies of a certain size, and then counter establish a HR policy that this isn't going to happen in California. Let me call this and show my land. So I found this source live. It goes back to a Daily Mail article, which is credible. See what they rate on the media bias chart. Avocado. Well, this like let me read this here. Chipotle sidesteps Newsom's minimum wage law and rolls out 2 robot employees at its California restaurant. So if you take a look at this or just Google avocado or even what is it, automated make lines. Is that what we're calling it? Like just cobots. Look at that. And it's just like I said with COVID, look what's happening is that this is a combination of taking. So, I mean, what does Newsom do there? Newsom, after post-COVID, the Inflation Reduction Act, that was one thing I've been objected for, is that it had no direct impact on inflation itself. Even Biden himself had said that he wanted to name it something else. It was priced out consumer spending. And that's just the way capitalism kind of works, but unfortunately, people aren't content with that. And it doesn't have to work like that when it means ensuring that the CEOs up there get the same salary, even more. And we're the ones at the end of the day, and we've got our politicians in the middle like this. Well, what do we do? Let's raise the minimum wage. That's going to, again, abuse the CEOs, and then it's going to push out smaller businesses, and then it's also going to price gouge me and get rid of job. And so it's starting right now. Take a look at these avocados, it's called. In response to the minimum wage increase to $20 an hour implemented by California Governor Gavin Newsom, some called Chipotle restaurants in the states have started new workers, 2 robots. And they recognize that salad bowls are what's consumers use most. So the picture that they showed, they do some research on this, and you'll see that the line is just going to change. You go there and kind of like that, and you see people there and they're rolling the whatever. These machines are just missing legs, and that's going to affect. There are no more. I worry that there are no more jobs to create when it comes to AI. When we're replicating how we think and how we work, so that's going to have effects on welfare. That's going to make the left want to increase taxes to pay for that. We don't learn how to balance the federal budget. There are things in my plan, the Gross Domestic Product Protection Act, which is a balance of pretty much both ideologues of left and right. It's bringing jobs back from China and everywhere else. It's mitigating climate change, balancing the fossil fuel assets into better technologies where the private sector still keeps. There's no tax dollars. It's an alternative to the Green New Deal. Delegating all those extra jobs that we will have too many for, that we can push over to Mexico or countries on our continent that are going to prevent illegal immigration. Businesses can go over there and set up all kinds of, 401k, all the kinds of jobs and benefits that they would have if they came here, except that they did. We don't have a problem with illegal immigration. So that's there it is right there. So I need money to circulate this stuff. It's crunch time right here. I can only afford from now until election day, $20 a day to boost 2 posts, $10 each one. And that's like $20 a day. And I have about somewhere around 10,000 viewers. If each one of you gave me like $5, I would be able to afford it. This is the thing about that, where you go into Ad Center and you can see they say you have a boosted a post. Take a look at like probably edit. Let's look at just this. Well, okay, so this one I just did today. It's reached 357 people. 9 people have clicked on it. It's the way that I set that video that I just showed you, it has a little button there to go to my website. Only 9 people do the math there between them. And then this other one I set up for page likes, if you want to come in and comment or whatever it is, out of 2,586, an additional 44 in the followers and just as many likes. But never any more comments, like 1 or 2 comments, anything like that. And I spent $150 in a week. So, but that is not enough. You know, if you do the math, how many weeks or days we have until election time to get this moving, you are one of the first states to be really voting like this. And if I'm not, I actually live, if you Google my address here, you'll see that I live right next to the bike path, like 10 feet away from it. And I have a sign that I put out there earlier this year from Vistaprint or whatever. It's got my logo on it and then a big barcode. And so that's good. That's been out there since March, I think. So I've got that. And like where the bike path is right here, 66 is right there, and the GW is right there. I'm right next to the river. Right at the top of the hill of Roslyn over there. So that's good. And again, from the combination of that sign, these posts, and I did some earlier in New York too. But this one is going to be continuous until November 5th. And then also going into the incumbents posts with the what was it happening? Well, this rolls off liquidated, like that's what I got. That's what I have. If you want your jobs protected, look at my plan. Otherwise, you saw that video, you see that they're already, even on the left, and with the combination of, I think that the best thing to do is to have that federal minimum wage no more than $12. Because any more than that, it's going to end up inviting robots and more taxes. I mean, to pay for people who aren't going to have jobs. If we catch that now, maybe just the hospitality will kind of get set, and there might be more administrative jobs. But what's to stop AI from that? I'm serious with this, okay? I mean, I started talking about this early in the year, and here it happens. And so, this is the other thing I was talking about when it comes to the tax plan between the two candidates. And basically what we have here is that both plans are going to put us more in debt. And the difference is, the major difference here is that Trump is going to roll back all the stuff that we did with climate change progress. Now, we didn't necessarily vote for, he didn't campaign on those mandates back in 2020 and just having those subsidies. Now, the federal government is always invested in things like that, but we can't do anymore. We certainly can't roll them back. Climate change is real. It's basic chemistry. The oceans can only hold so much of oil, fossil fuels. It's acidic. It's going to kill life. It's going to be cataclysmic. This is very serious. And so when you're looking at that with those principles and those ideas, and both of them are pretty much equal, this is a credible source. The Hill, and you read it, and you find out the differences between the two. Just keep it simple. You know, if we're putting money in housing, you know, with some breaks there, then that's going to put us more in debt. If we go with Trump, again, just what I said, it's going to roll back climate change result. And at the end of the day, be on fire or not, and then it's still doing the same amount of debt. So the solution to that would be, again, what I talked about, the Gross Domestic Product Protection Act. That's good. There's no instant results here. This is tough for all of us. You know, if you're making less than, I mean, even if around here, the median income is pretty high. If you're with somebody, you're married, and your combined income is 150, 175, even then, what the housing gap. There is a gap that keeps growing, even on our side too. You're like, are you going to vote for student debt relief on the left, knowing that that's going to go for somebody's education? How much of taxpayer dollars? Right? If you go to the military, things like that, that's awesome. But other stuff, how much of that are you going to vote on to eventually get yourself out earned? Doesn't make any sense. And that's what I'm talking about. They come up with these ideas to make you feel good and appease their care and things like that. But then when you see these things, well, I like that. It's like, and I'm looking at the same way. That's what I'm developing when it comes to my planning. If you don't fully understand it, come in and ask me a question. Don't be a dick about it. You don't like my writing style or whatever it is, ask me a fucking question. I'm serious. There's like 2 or 3 of them already just before the show. It's like, fuck off, you know what I mean? Like, this is the principle, this is what it is. Keep my ass, I'm serious, like, this is serious shit, this is not fuck around with memes all the time to measure our dicks, okay? This is serious shit. Also, we go on to, let's see, Teamsters. Neither, the Teamsters neither endorse Trump or Kamala because they're using the corporations. It's not just the left, it's also the right. You can look that up. The International Brotherhood of Teamsters will not issue an endorsement in the presidential election for the first time since 1996. No, for the third time since 1960. Teamsters General President John O'Brien said, quote, neither major candidate was able to make serious commitments to our union to ensure the interests of working people are always put before big business. Kamala's already, again, so she's circulating out there. Again, a guy like me, there's no circulation. I need donation money. I need, and it's not gonna go for me to go on some private jet or to kiss someone else's ass. It's to genuinely help. Another cool thing, we're gonna jump onto my Twitter real quick. And I've got 9 minutes. I don't know, let's see if this person live. There's probably more. Yeah, so here you go. Well, he's probably been watching. Are you and you support a multi-billion dollars plan, your meme doesn't agree with your stance. What is he talking about? Like specifically what? When it comes to offsetting the green premium, like I just talked about, read Bill Gates' book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. You know what I mean? He's not funding me. He's not, you know what I mean? Like that's the difference. There is hypocrisy there, but I'm not receiving them. Bullshit. And then it's the same. You're a climate change believer. All that is a government excuse to tax the people more and claim it will change the climate. Yeah, I'm gonna respond to that shit later. I mean, this other climate is good. And about an hour ago, let's see it. It's on Facebook. Mortgage rates fell to lowest level since February 2023. Yeah, but that gap, that gap is. I'll show you a picture on that real quick, what that looks like. Even if you make, this is all demographics we're talking about here, except for the super rich. This guy didn't like my writing style basically, and he couldn't just ask me a direct question. There he goes. No, no, that was good. That was the difference. So, she was nice. Amy, like she came at me kind of objective and like, come on, Amy, what about your stock? And I was like, I don't have any stock. I have a 401k monitor right now. And then they lured me into some stash app. And it takes like $5 out of my bank account. It goes to CVS and Amazon, and maybe I cash it out every other month for $20. And she liked, and it's fun. You're gonna come at me and come on the room. I'm not gonna. I always get this in my head. If you ever watch Ghostbusters 2, when Bill Murray goes to the mayor of New York City, and they were trying to give him, they got stiff, the Ghostbusters got stiff on a bill. He's like, hey, I'm a voter. You're supposed to lie to me and kiss my butt. I'm not gonna lie to you and kiss your ass. Even if you're a voter, I'm not gonna do it. So don't think that I should behave. I do. Like, this is what's cool about this show. I got to, but I mean, if I was in mainstream media, there's FEC sequels, and I don't need to get freaked out all the time. But real, so. And even if I was, I know some people may think that some of the level of response that I do is a little toxic, and maybe the way is a little bit. But I mean, hey, I look at this as this is an expression of the problems we have. I don't have that much time for pleasantries. But if you come at me in a reasonable, respectable way, I'm going to give you the same response. Calling me like a dick, you're going to get the same response. Very human, right? It's a James guy. And the James guy came back and he's basically asking me, he's trying to ask me a question. He's unsure of something because he lacks humility to ask the question. Like, what do you mean by this? That's it. You didn't have to go on this long. The housing gap that I mentioned, digital capitalist, this is on the media literacy section of my website. You can see that's the increase in income housing gap. In 1985, if you made 22,000 a year, which was a lot, a home would cost 78,000. Now, you make 74,000, it's 433. So look at that ratio, 3 to 5. Now it's 5 to 8, 5.8. 3.5 to 5.8. the rich are getting richer. We've been saying that forever. We've all been saying that forever. And now, post COVID, we're starting to realize you have to realize it's both sides. It's not just, and it's just that you got into your head through the screen. So I just wanted these posts too. They're just, you see this go on and on and on. What? How are you funding the campaign? Someone look it up. The corporate dollars will claiming it's from small donors, just like politicians going, fuck you. I bought from my own 401k, $7,000. I got $140 donation. I hope he's watching. I hope there's USAR veterans watching right now. You know, fuck you. See, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about right there. You presume, you think your judgment is infallible. You know, I mean, that's not the truth at all. $7,000 I spent with my own money. You know, and then I had a challenge with the ballot in the Virginia Department elections, and then come at me with that stupid shit. I'm not gonna kiss you out. Okay. If you had asked me, this guy's been going on with me for a while. And it's just a game that I don't block them because they think that you don't have a rational argument with me. And many times that's true, but sometimes you just make an annoying dick and that's it, and the block out. Okay, so this last thing, 3 minutes. Okay, it's this violence against women by illegal aliens act. And the left, 128 Democrats voted no, including Don Barrett, but Abigail Spanberger voted in favor of it. Now, there is a women's conference that Barrett hosts, and I got a free ticket. I'm gonna go there and say, I may not get an opportunity to ask this, but I would love to know why. Why did you vote that way? Why did, you know, it looks like a no-brainer. I would be inclined to vote in favor of that. Don't we have enough of that? What would be the reason why AOC or Biden would vote nay for that? Is it because it would help the treatment that we have here? Don't we have enough of that? And even then, that wouldn't satisfy me enough democratically. That's why I will promote the Digital Democracy Project on it. Something like that comes through my desk. If I'm elected, I'm gonna ask all the people what you think. I'm like, this is what and maybe that would be fun. Like, if even for me to say, this is how I'm gonna vote, and for these reasons, what do you think? Could change it entirely. What if I say nothing? If I said nothing, then you would think that I don't know what I'm doing or whatever. Maybe they have it written down. That would be cool. You know what I mean? If I, exactly, have that written down and just have it right here or something, and then do it live stream and then talk to the people directly. Challenge here is getting everyone involved. A lot of bills come through. Yeah, that would be, well, at least it's a record. That Digital Democracy Project is really cool. So, that's pretty much all I have this week. Also, Israel, when we mentioned that, that's getting sticky. It's getting sticky with us. If we see that too long still make a right. You know what I mean? And we're trying the best I can think of is that it begins with a unifying leader in Gaza for the Palestinian people and start really getting mitigated. But that place right now, like, who's going to step up? Who do they have? Who's going to do it? Whose business is to do it? You know what I mean? It's just getting pretty nasty with Israel. That's why we should only have George Washington Creed. Washington Creed is to have temporary alliances. And it's terrible what the Israelis have been through, but it's also not okay for, you know, what Hamas did. And then again, too long to make it. So I hope you had fun with that. I'm sure people are going to keep coming at me, you know, with their stupid shit on Facebook or Twitter. That's, you know, it's nice when I do get positive on it, but please, I need some donations. I need small donations. It was 2,000 was the max. I don't like these corporations. I'm trying to mitigate that hypocrisy. You got it. Who are you going to cut? I'm being honest with both sides here. Seriously, I really am. 9:30. I gotta go. Have a good night, and I'll see you next week.